Oh, there's so many of them.
There is, and actually, last season's finale, the guy Keith in the tunnel and the car fell on him and stuff. Mm-hmm. That one was cool. It was another one from our trauma consultant, and they're so nice to us. Like, can this happen? I can't really imagine it. Okay, but can it? Once in a million. Like, yeah, sure. And but just taking the idea that the writers had and thinking like, this is crazy, and then finding the research to back that up and the medical to go with it, and then seeing that, I mean, it was just phenomenal. You have a guy, like this, and I just also love like the 4 women that went out to the tunnel. To me, was just like, oh, this is awesome.
So it is a bit of a puzzle piece for you then. So you're sort of presented with, this is the arc of where we need to get to in the show, and how can we have the medical help serve that?
Right.
Is kind of what you guys are up against then. So
yeah.
And I know that we always are struggling with the fight between dramatic and authenticity.
Yes.
Which
yes.
Linda Klein's a big fan of authenticity.
Sure.
And so is that a struggle for you too, where you're trying to come up with a way for it to be dramatic and compelling, but can't be completely jump the shark, as many people have already discussed. Every show jumps the shark,
yes.
let's just face it.
Yes.
But so is that part of what you have to do too, to kind of skate that line?
And Zoanne and Fred especially are kind of the yes or no's on that, because they are storytellers and doctors, so they know what is real, but a lot of times the big cheat we make is we will compress time. Like, obviously, because we can't spend 23 hours in surgery with someone, or maybe there's 6 steps before we get to surgery, but like, you guys don't want to see that, it slows it down, and it just,
so it's sort of like, it's like a highlights reel. What can we do that's the most compelling and interesting?
Exactly. And a lot of times too, we love the medical jeopardy, not always, but that's cool. And can our doctors save it? Can they get themselves out of this situation? And when you talk to surgeons, they're like, why do you want a complication? Because for them, they want surgery to go well, but we kind of sometimes like surgery.
You're always saying, well, what could go wrong?
Yeah, and it's such a backwards set of thinking, and but I think we keep it true. Like, Zoanne and Fred wouldn't let anything go out that wasn't.
It's grounded in a certain bit of reality.
But it's television, and it's drama, and at the end of the day, it's about our characters, right? Yeah.
Exactly. So let me ask you this then. So what are some must-skill needs, that you really need? I mean, obviously, everybody I've talked to has talked about being detail-oriented, being able to think on their feet, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a detective as well, I
think.
What else do you think you need?
The hardest thing for me is we'll be working on 3 episodes at once. So one is about to shoot, one's prepped, one's writing, one's people are still thinking about it. So let's say there's 3 cases per episode. That's 12 cases, and it's trying to remember all the steps, or even just trying to remember we still need to talk to this specialist or this doctor, or the writer changed his mind, now we need this complication, okay, let's go dig into that. And it just changes so much because of whatever reason, like a story gets thrown out, or sometimes even there's physical production things, like if Linda thinks this is too fast, we need to slow it down, then we have to change the writing to match what will fit on set,
or sometimes come up with even more business because there's a lot of dialogue,
it's too
or
slow.
whatever.
Yeah, so it's just always, for me, the big thing is it's detail oriented, but it's just making sure I always have my hand in everything going on, because otherwise, if you drop one ball, then it's
a mess.
Oh, and there's tons. We have this team of 4, so it's been really nice, because that's pretty new this season, and it's nice to have those people to fall back on. But sometimes,
so you can check each other.
Yeah, and they're all doctors. So it's just right there at their fingertips. Whereas for me, I have to go and find it. But still, just keeping everything organized is a nightmare at points. Yeah.
So I have to ask you this, because sometimes when I Google this, it happens to me. Do you find yourself thinking you may have many of the diseases? I mean,
no.
Especially because you spend your whole day looking at all these things, and you sort of going, wait a minute. I was sneezing all day yesterday. I might have that.
No, it doesn't even...
You're immune to that?
Sometimes if I think a friend has it, I'll be like, hey, check this out, or whatever.
You might have the plague, but I'm just saying.
But I don't want, you don't want to freak anybody out. Because, again, we're going after these 1 in a million cases, and it's just
it had to happen to someone.
It did happen to someone. It could happen to you, I guess. But me personally, it's not. I don't get scared too much. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the best thing about your job? I know that you got this great team of people that you work with.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun here at Grey's Anatomy, as
We
always.
do, indeed.
But what's the best thing for you?
Besides the people I work with, I think it's the specialists we get to talk to. I mean, these people are some of the smartest people I think ever. Last season when Derek had that whole brain mapping thing, we got to talk to Dr. Corey Bargman, who is the real, co-chair of the brain initiative that Obama started. And why am I talking to this person? Like, I have no reason to be on her radar whatsoever, and there's just some really fascinating stuff that it comes out of it. So I'm, learning writing, but I'm also just learning all this just crazy knowledge and talking to these crazy people. And obviously Shonda has a lot of pulls, so sometimes we're on the call with like the Clinton Foundation or like Michelle Obama, and I'm like, why am I here? What is happening to me? So
you're having some cool life experiences.
Very much. And Grey's obviously has a lot of impact throughout the world. Like, one of our consultants was on a trip to China, and he said all the surgeons he was working with were watching Grey's on their little tablets on the plane. Just sort of sometimes when it hits you, the impact that the show has and like the reach we have, and that's crazy.
Yeah. Someone just asked, how did you get to work on Grey's? I don't think we covered that. How did you come to us, actually? Because it took us 9 years before we found you. Where you been?
So, this is kind of weird. I ended up with an internship at Private Practice for their season 5, which I think was y'all's season 7 or 8, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
And basically, someone was like, "Hey, Shonda, by the way, this intern bakes and decorates cakes, whatever."
Oh, I'm sure we hired you right then.
No, but I made this cake for Scandal because Scandal had just started up, and she was like, "Okay, come." She interviewed me, and there wasn't a job right then, and for years and years, not years, but for a season, I just kept kind of being like, "Hey guys, is there anything?" Just what you do, and there wasn't anything for a long time, and then over here, the writer's PA job just sort of opened up, and they need someone part-time, so I was like, absolutely, and I just quit my other job and showed up, and luckily they asked me back after that, and then
Can
just
I just
been very
say
lucky.
You've never made us a cake?
I'm not really putting you on the spot.
pressure in any way.
You will have a cake soon, Karen.
Just saying.
It'll happen.
We've been friends a long time
I know.
now, Barbara.
Okay, it'll happen. It'll happen. That's the only reason you brought me on this. To
Exactly.
call me
I
out.
want a cake,
Give me a
because
cake.
as my followers know, it's all about the food.
Always.
So, do you have any advice then that you could offer to people who either want to take the writing track you're doing, or the researching track, or just
Man.
don't say don't do it? 'Cause
No.
everybody-
But everyone's story is so different, so there's no blanket rule. But just meet as many people as you can and have samples and be ready. And I don't know, I think the more people you know, the better it's going to be. The better chance you're going to have. But I'm
open to whatever experience, because as you said,
Yeah.
you were going the writing track, and then you became kind of a medical researcher, which I don't think
Right.
you necessarily would have picked,
no.
but has been a great.
But obviously,
experience.
it's a stepping stone here at this show, to become a writer. So, and in the meantime, like I said, I get to learn all this cool stuff. So, who wouldn't want to do that? But yeah, just get out there and talk to people, and eventually, hopefully, a door will open up. I think.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for hanging out and chatting with us.
Thank you, Karen.
And I guess that's about all we have to say on this beautiful day. We should probably go back to work now because we've been futzing around. We
I
had
know,
the table
but it's so
read
nice
and-
outside. So
I know.
I'll probably
Trying to think of
stay
an
here
excuse
for
to stay
10
out
more
here
minutes.
for a little while.
Oh,
Thanks,
man.
Barbara.
Yes, thank you.